Aparasachit Sukhabadidashaye Yasyornimatram Dhumanam Samastam Vivahitam Tam Ramanam Gabhiram Chintavihiram Hridichintayanam. Now we are on the 5th shloka. Jatasya hidrupo mrityuhu dhruvam janma mritasya cha asmat aparihagyerte natvam shochetum argasi. This is a shloka of more worldly significance than perhaps of philosophical truth. Here he says, Arjuna, leave aside all the philosophy. Don't bother about that Atman is there and the body is there, body is separate from Atman. Leave aside all these things. Because now the job of Krishna is to make Arjuna see reason and to continue the fight. Because it has already been started. Now at this stage if he goes back, it will be a matter of shame for the entire Pandavas. It will be a blemish which cannot be erased easily. And that is why Bhagavan now leaves all philosophical arguments which he originally told in order to induce Arjuna to fight the battle of life. Now he gives a worldly wisdom which I can't say is the truth. It is not at all the truth because this is a very dangerous worldly wisdom which could easily be misinterpreted. He says, look here Arjuna, let us conceive, yes, the Atman dies. Okay, we will take the body and Atman is only one unit, as all ignorant people take it, and let us say, all right, the Atman dies. But then you know that this is an inevitable affair. Now, the sun rises, the sun sets. When the sun sets, do you go on weeping, oh, the sun has gone, the sun has gone? No, we don't weep. So similarly, it is a natural policy that anything which is born has to die only. And anything which dies, again it takes rebirth. This much we know. This is simple worldly knowledge. So when it is something which you can't prevent, it is not in your hands to prevent it. It automatically happens. Everybody has to die only. Is there anybody in the world who has lived all these years for thousands of years or 2,000 years or 6,000 years? No. Nobody. Maximum 120 years, 140 years perhaps. Somewhere in Russia or some places there have been some very old people. Beyond that one cannot live. It is a natural policy. And you can't fight against it. It has to happen. So something which is a must, which cannot be prevented, why shed tears over it? There is no meaning in it. Jatasya hidrupo mrityuhu. Jatasya, for the one who is born. Anybody who is born in this world, mrityuhu dhruvam. Death is very certain. It cannot be avoided. It may be today, it may be day after tomorrow, it may be next year, it may be the next millennium, but it has to happen. You can't avoid it. Then, dhruvam janma mritasya cha. This is according to the Hinduism. That anybody who dies, unless he becomes a Jivan Mukta, which is a very, very rare case where one gets liberated while alive, just a handful perhaps like Ramakshna Paramahamsa, Bhagavan, Ramana, or Anandamayi, there are only a very, very few who can be counted in the fingers. Otherwise, for a normal person, when once we die, we take it for granted. This fellow will be born somewhere, in some place. So, mritasya, for the one who has died, janma dhruvam, his rebirth is certain. He has to be born again. Tasma, therefore, apariharye arthe, in a matter which can never be remedied, in a matter which is unavoidable, which cannot be prevented. From na shochitum arhati, shochitum to grieve. So, you should not grieve. Shochitum narthati. You must not grieve. Here there are 2-3 points. As I said, this is a sheer worldly wisdom which has nothing to do with the spirituality. But why Bhagavan should select such a poem here at all? If it is so much that it is not at all philosophical, it is only a worldly wisdom. Why? Because what happens is, almost all of us, even the most courageous, the most brave, who all their life have been battling, who have been fighting tooth and nail against all the adversities of life, even such people, the moment they are on deathbed, they know the doctor has said, look here, he won't survive beyond another 4 hours' time. Then a terrific fear seizes him. His entire body is trembling because now he is going to undertake a journey to the unknown. He won't know what happens there. Whatever he may have read, whatever philosophy he might have consumed, unless he had gone to a high extent of practice of meditation, otherwise, whatever he might have read, they will all go away at the last minute. An unshakable fear that comes. You tell him anything, he won't be satisfied. The fear is there. The great man, Dr. Johnson, who wrote the first English dictionary, he was supposed to be a very brave man. During the last minute, he was holding the hand of Boswell, his chronicler, and he was weeping. He was practically shaking. That is what happened. And it has happened to ever so many great people, even Mahatmas, even perhaps advanced souls. I won't call them realized, because realized souls, normally I don't think they will do. So advanced souls, well, it does happen. So here is something which our Krishna says, so that you may get rid of this fear. Once you know, yes, this is something which is inevitable. It has to happen. So why shed tears over it? Let us do it with pleasure. That is what we should. And so many people used to go to Krishnamurti, the great philosopher of the century, protege of our anniversary, and a philosopher in his own right. Many people used to go to him. People who have lost their only son. People who have lost their only husband. So such people, when they have gone to him, he used to be restless and merciless towards them. In this sense, he will ask them straight away, Madam, you won't admit, but I can assure you, inside your heart, you are not weeping for your dead husband. You are not weeping for your dead son. You are only weeping for yourself. It is a sheer self-pity. Oh, at this age I have been left without a companion. How can I go to the ration office? How can I go to the electricity bill? Oh my Lord, if this fellow was there, I was very convenient just to make something in the kitchen and I was very happy. Now this fellow has gone. What about financial security? Till today he was only cashing the checks. I do not even know how to go to the bank. So all these problems arise. So many of the people who weep, it is for sheer their own selfishness. And people used to bristle with anger on hearing it. They used to say, I never thought that you will talk so rudely. You are not a philosopher, and then they have walked out. But then, the next day or so, they used to come back with an apology. Yes, Mr. Krishnamurti, I was just reflecting and cogitating on what all you told. You are right. Yes, there was some self-pity. So this is what happens. That is why it is very essential. It is called abhinivesha. Out of all the various sorrows of life, which they are categorized into about 5 categories in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the last one, this is called abhinivesha. Abhinivesha means it is because of the very strong body sense, thinking that I am the body, oh my Lord, the body is to go means then I am going to die. Oh, this is a fact. So this sort of feeling, the fear of death comes because of our extraordinary attachment towards the body, considering that it is the real I am the body. That is why all these things happen. If you just reflect even according to the tenets of science, look here, every day a number of cells die. The entire skin is made up of cells and tissues. the entire blood, the entire muscles, the entire tendons, everything, bones, everything is made up of simple cells. And every cell dies. And perhaps it takes about 15 hours for the cell to again revive, rejuvenated. Some other cell comes. One cell dies, another cell comes. One cell dies, another cell comes. So, when you are about 50 years old, you are no longer the person who was when you were 10 years old. Your entire body has changed, your entire skin has changed, your entire blood has changed, your entire everything has changed. How can you claim that I am the same man, I am the same Shantananda who was 10 years back? It is stupid. You cannot claim, because the entire body has changed. And from the chubby cheeked young toddler, you have now become a big shot, you are a big man with a broad shoulder and all that. And do you weep? Oh, I have lost that chubby cheek. Oh, how nice I was as a toddler, walking and falling down. Do you weep for it? You lost your nice boyhood, you lost your adolescence. Are you weeping for it? Unfortunately, it so happens, happens to be the biggest change to die. And it is so apparent, it is so evident, so naturally you are shocked to see that. Otherwise, you should be equally shocked every second year or every third year. Oh my Lord, now I am a different man. For 3 years back I was different. Absolutely so. How can you ever claim? Yes, the claim is made only because of the consciousness. That is the only unchanging thing, and that consciousness has nothing to do with the body. It is just like the electricity has nothing to do with the bulb. That's all. So, it is extremely essential for each of us, number one, not to be affected by any such calamities in life. Somebody dies. My grandfather was very dear to me, he dies. A grandmother was extremely dear to me, whose lap I was nurtured and nourished, well, she might die. But then, don't lose your reason. Yes, everybody will feel sorry for it. I don't say don't feel sorry, keep your heart like a stone, no. But there are people who are overcome to that extent. There are people after losing somebody very near and dear to them, those people became mad and had to be admitted in a lunatic asylum. And there are people who have got a depression in their life. Yes, so don't go to that extent. Yes, you may weep, there is no harm. You may feel sorry for it, but don't carry it to great length as to forget yourself and to think that you have lost everything in your life. Nothing has been lost. It is a matter of policy. Everything in this world is temporary. That is why it is essential for you to take up a self-inquiry and to find out who am I, and then to know pretty well that I am not the body, I am the super consciousness who can never be killed. It comes later, in fact, in the next one. So Bhagavan had perhaps a greatest reason for putting it so that we may not be afflicted with the greatest of sorrows, which is bereavement of people near and dear to us, our own dear kith and kin. So we should never be affected by it to the extent at all. You should take it as natural. It is very, very natural that anybody weep for something which is natural life. The next one is, but then people can talk. You say in a village, there is a gentleman perhaps who lost his wife. He was weeping in an inconsolable manner. He was about to immolate himself in the fire. Then there was a fakir, there was a Sanyasi was standing there. He went and consoled him. He said, look here, everybody has to die one day. He quoted this Jata Sayyid Dhruva Mati. So don't worry about it. It's all there. Console yourself. Come on. So thus he consoled him. He came back. After about 15 days' time, that gentleman who lost his wife was passing through the cottage of this fakir, this sannyasi. This sanya was lamenting and bemoaning, just beating his heart. He went and asked, what is the matter, Swamiji? Kya hua? What happened? He said, I had one nice lamb, a goat which was giving me milk. That goat has died. Oh, don't you remember you quoted Jata Sayyid Dhruva Mati from Bhagavad Gita? Then why are you weeping now? That day you told me, oh, that was your son, this is my bakri, this is my lamb, you said. So naturally, you may hear so much, but then these things, we have to hear and hear, then reflect, which is called the manana, and to make it our own, so that, we'll be able to withstand such calamity whenever it comes. next one is a continuation of this to show that Atman doesn't die. See, this one is as self. It is an untruth because it is dangerous. Tomorrow somebody will say, oh, very good, Krishna has given a blanket sanction that you may kill anybody and say, oh, this will have to die one day and today I made him go a day earlier, that's all. So you can go and murder somebody and quote, Jata Singh Dhruva Mrityu. That is not so. That is why I call it a dangerous worldly wisdom. I will call this a fallacious argument, it's a fallacy. But then Krishna had to use it at that time because by any means he wanted to bring back Arjuna to his natural level of consciousness. That's all. Najajate priyaseva kadachit nayam bhutva bhavita vanabhuyagam ajo nityaha shashvatoyam puranam nanyate hanyamane sharire. Look here, the body may die. The body may undergo several changes, but the Atman, you cannot do anything with it. It can never die. It is immortal. So that is what he is going to say. Here, he is indicating how he is different from a body. Anything which is born, anything which is created, it passes through 6 stages of changes. That is called the Bhava Vikara. Bhava Vikara means the modifications or the changes which take place in the life of any creature. Let it be a plant, let it be a worm, let it be an animal, let it be a man. It happens to all the creatures. What are they? They are, number one is, it is born. That is the first one. That is the first change which happens. Where there is nothing else, suddenly something comes. There was no pot here, suddenly a pot comes here. So that which was not earlier at all, when that comes into existence, you call it as birth. Birth means coming to existence of a thing which did not exist a few minutes back, a day back. So that is called as born. So number one means Jayate. He is born. Then after being born, he continues status quo in the state of life for 80 years, for 70 years. So that is called Asti, existence. He continues to exist. I mean in a palpable form, which everybody can see. Then the third one is Vardhate. He grows. He was a small child. He has grown this big. Now he is a 6-footer. So that is called Vardhate. He grows. He grows, then what happens is Viparinamate. Now slowly changes take place. Wrinkles begin to form in his body, and then his complexion begins to change, becomes darker, and his hair becomes to grow grey. So these are all changes. Viparinamate. Just as milk is converted into yogurt or curd, so in the same way, the man may undergo so many changes, any creature may undergo so many changes. It is called the Viparinamate. Then what happens is, now he has become old. Now slowly, one day he says, see, look here, I am not able to hear what the Swamiji is talking, even though I am sitting very near. So his ear has begun to fade. And then he says, I am unable to see that. I don't know, something is there, I see a scatter of light. So his eyes begin to lose vision. Thus the decay starts, the deterioration starts, apachiyate. Then you come to the final, the glorious final, that is Mriyate, he dies. So these are all the 6 Bhavavikaras and changes. Now he is going to prove that none of those things exist as far as the self is concerned. The self or Atman, it never undergoes any change, it is changeless. It is ancient, it is always there, it never grows, there is no sign of old age, it is always ever green, ever young. So that is what he is going to prove. Najayate, this Atma is never gone, it always was. It is the consciousness. When can consciousness die? When can energy die? It is a conscious energy. And the second law of thermodynamics says that energy can never be destroyed and energy can never be created. That is aja. It always was. At all times. There is no time when it ceases to exist. And there is no time when it will cease to exist. So, na jayate, kadachiti, na kadachiti means never. It never dies. Mriyate va. Mriyate means dies. Na kadachiti, never. It never dies. It is never born. It never dies. Nayam bhutvam bhavita va na bhuyaha. There are two methods of interpretation here. This bhavita is taken as such by some, but Shankara prefers to take it as abhavita. See, that a is understood, so that need not be put separately. When it is there in a conjunction, that a can be taken, can be ignored. That is the grammar. So, it can be interpreted as abhavita, it can be interpreted as bhavita. So, nayam bhutva abhavita va bhuya. This one, bhutva, after having come once it existed, say it is born. So you say a child is born. Then you think, again, one day it will cease to exist. It will go away. Abhavita na. It will never become non-existent. So abhavita means non-existent. So na is a double negative. Na abhavita. It can never become non-existent. That is, it will never cease to exist. That is what it means. That is in other words. Don't think that somebody is born, the Atman is born, the Atman dies. No, it cannot cease to exist. Originally, as already said, it is never born. But some people say, no, we see people dying. Yes, but when only it has come into existence, it can never die. It has always been existing. So the question of his being born doesn't arise. Nor the question of his death arises. It will never cease to exist. Bhuyaha means 1 second. See, 1 second it won't die. It has died and then it has come into the body. But don't think it will die, because Atman never dies. Neither it has died earlier nor now. It is only transmigrating, going from house to house, going from body to body, going from shell to shell, going from house to house. This was the house which it occupied for 70 years, 80 years. Then it went, it occupied another body. So, abhavita vala bhuya. Or, supposing you have to interpret as bhavita, then it means, it doesn't mean that it is born once, and the same Atman is going to be born again. Bhavita bhuya. Bhavita means, which is going to be come into existence again. Don't think it is dying now, and then it will come again. It is born now, again in another rebirth. There is no rebirth of Atman. Atman always exists. There is no rebirth of the electricity. Supposing there is a 0-watt bulb, the 0-watt bulb has been telling me every day evening, Swamiji, I am so miserable. All the other lights, they are all so nice and so brilliant. See, God has made me miserable. God has given me such a lonely birth, only a 0-watt. And the day it went off, it used the bulb. Then Mr. Sridhar got it replaced with a bulb of 200 watts. He says there are people who will be sitting and reading, so this won't be sufficient. He removed the 0-watt. He got a 200-watt bulb. Now the bulb had changed. Did the electricity change? No, the electricity is the same. It is the bulb which has changed. So naturally, if you look at it from the point of view of the bulb, yes, there is a rebirth. From 0-watt, now it has become a 200-watt. But if you see from the point of view of the electricity, there is no rebirth at all. There is no rebirth at all. It is the bulb which is changing. The electricity is the same. So, to say it is rebirth, to say there is no rebirth, both mean the same thing. Because we are looking at it from different points of view. Either the point of view of the Atman or the point of view of the body. So, next one. Now she says, so, two of those vikaras, that is, one is born. The last of the changes is it dies. Both of them are not. Now only 4 are there. What are those 4? Ajaha, Nityaha, Shashvataha, Purana. Ajaha, it is saying repetition of the earlier one by saying that it is never born. So that which is never born by itself, it means it continues to exist. That which is not born but is there, so that means status quo asti. There is a second stage. Continuing to live, there is a second stage. So it continues there, ajaha. It was never born, but it continues to exist. The second one is nityaha. Nityaha means, well, some people call it as eternal, some people call it as everlasting. There are two words. One is nityaha, another is sanatana. People interchange the meanings between the two, but both have got a different meaning. Nityaha means that which is not going to die, which is going to be forever. So this negates death. Sanatana means it has been always there, it is perennial, it has been from eternity, it has been there, so there was no time when it didn't exist, so we are talking of it being born. So one negates the birth, the other one negates the death. But in English, people are interchanging it, somewhere they will prefer Nitya eternal, somewhere they will prefer Sanatana eternal. So we will use it as Nitya means everlasting, because it is not going to die. So that will be a better meaning for it. Nitya means everlasting, it will be always there. Then Shashvataha, it is permanent. It is permanent and it is constant. Shashvataha represents it is constant. That is, there is no change. I told you, viparinamate. See, we begin to get wrinkles, we begin to get white hairs, but nothing like that. No viparinam, no changes. It remains as it is, as if it was born only yesterday. There is no change. That is why Lord Dakshinamurti, we always conceive of him as a young man. Who is more older? Who is older than he? He is the father of the entire world. He existed before the world existed. But still, we talk of him as a young man sitting, and all his disciples, all the old sages with 3 feet long beards, old people, they were all his disciples, hearing Atma-vidya from him through silence, through eternal silence. So, Shashvataha, I am. So this Atman, Puranaha, it is very ancient, it is primeval. Primeval means it has always been there since a long time as it is. So this means there is no growth. It has been constant from the very beginning, it has been the same without any change, so there is no growing. Nor is there any deterioration or decay. Both the changes are there because it remains constant. Neither it loses its ear, nor it loses its eye, nor does it grow from 3 feet to 6 feet. Nothing. It remains constant. Atman, it has got no form. It is formless. It is an energy. It is a conscious energy. And automatically that means it cannot have any growth like our body. It cannot have any decay or deterioration or decline like our body. So all these things are negated by that. This changeless, absolutely it remains like that. So Puranaha, it is primeval, it is very ancient. There is no, even though it is so old like, but there is no growth. Normally when a person from 3 years he becomes 6 years, he grows. From 6 years he becomes 16 years, he grows. There is a growth up to that particular period. But here is the case where there is no growth. It is as it was. Nahanyate hanyamane shariri. So as such, body is subject to birth and death. Body is made up of all these elements which can disintegrate. And Atman is one whole. It is an energy. The energy can never die. So naturally, when the body dies, the Atman never dies. So, hanyamane shariri. When the body is being killed, na hanyate. Ayam na hanyate. This Atman can never be killed. You cannot murder it, you cannot kill it, you cannot destroy it. It is indestructible. It always is. Its name is existence. It is not existential like the trees, like men, like animals. It is the essence of very existence. So, nahanyate hanyamane shariri. So in the context of Arjuna, he is talking of killing people. Because he is now afraid. Oh, I have to kill my own kith and kin. I have to kill my own cousins. Oh, look here is my great-grandfather Bhishma. I have to kill him. Here is my Guru, my preceptor, Drona. Oh, my Lord, I cannot kill them. So he says, look here, why are you afraid? They have anyway to die only. They are already old people. Apart from that, their body only is going to be killed. You cannot kill their Atman. Nahanyate Atman. Here he is talking of philosophy. Philosophy in the sense you have to rise to the level of consciousness. You cannot use it for our purpose and say, yes, it is, you cannot kill the Atman, so I am only killing his body. No, we will let me inside. So, Nahanyate Hanuman. Here, according to Shankara, the idea being it is, when the body is subject to all the changes, the 6 changes of Bhava Vikaras, the Atman is never subject to any of these changes. That is what is the real esoteric meaning of this sentence. Now we go to the next one. Acchedyo yadatyyoyam aklesyo yotyetevachan nitya sarvagata sthanhu achaloyam sanatanaha. Again, he is talking about the Atma. He wants to say the basic elements out of which this entire world and our body has been made, they are called the 5 subtle elements. That is, the body is made up of the element of earth. Earth doesn't mean this. We are not made up of this marble and all that, or bricks. But the element inside, the subtle essence inside, that is called the Prithvi Tattva, or the principle of earth. There is a quality of earth in it. That is why. So, that earth is that forms one of the basic elements for our pillar. Similarly, water. Water is part of us. Water is there everywhere. Without water we can't survive. The cells require water. And the blood consists of water. So water is a must for us. So this is made up of water. Then it is made up of fire. There is a fire, otherwise what is it that consumes or digests? We call it as Vaishwanara. There is a fire inside our body which consumes and digests our food. Then air, positively I got, ask the people I got gastric problems, they will tell you how much air is passing in their body. So air is another element which is required. Now he wants to prove none of these 4 elements, because the 5th element is space. Space cannot do anything. Because the space is only the place where you live, where it is only a container, that's all. So as such space is, we can ignore it. So this Atman can never be, is never vulnerable to attack by any of these elements. It is these elements which corrode us, because of which our decline takes place. You go to an Ayurvedic, you ask him, he will find out from your nadi. He will say, oh, you are having too much of vayu, too much of air, or you will say, you got too much of water, that is, we may call it as kapha. So, it is only the predominance of these elements to the detriment of the others, not having a equal proportion, that is what is causing all the diseases and the ailments for us. So now he is going to negate that none of these elements can do. It is a very easy thing. People who are in Bombay, who are having their buildings very near to the sea, every year they will have to purchase a refrigerator. The entire refrigerator corrodes. You may keep it very nicely, you may even put a cloth and all that, but nothing else. It corrodes, badly it corrodes. So, water can corrode things, air can corrode things. Because of the air and the water together only you get what is called rust. All the iron things you keep, even surgical instruments, they all get corroded through rust. So all these elements are dangerous. They can corrode, they can cause decline in our body. And here he says, Achedyo yam. There is no weapon which can pierce through. Achedya. Shidri normally used to cut. Achedya means you cannot cut it. But here it means you cannot pierce it with any weapons. Because all the weapons, whether it is an arrow, whether it is a sword, they are all made up of the earth element. All the metals in the world, they are made up of the earth element according to our Shastra, according to our scripture. The earth element is there in all of them. And so, here he says, earth cannot affect Atman. Atman is invulnerable to earth. Achedyohi. You cannot cut it, it cannot be cut to pieces. Then adasyoyam, you cannot burn it with fire. You put it into fire, which is burning like anything, but nothing will happen to Atman. Atman cannot be burned. If this entire house is set in fire, I may die. But if the body dies, my Atman remains. Atman cannot be affected by any fire. So, adasyoyam, doesn't to burn. Adasyaha, that which cannot be burned. This body is called the Deha. We call it in Tamil also Deha. Deha means, it comes from the word Dasyate, it is Deha. Because finally it is being consumed by fire, because in India, your normal procedure is to cremate. That's why it is called the Deha in Sanskrit. Adasyoyam. Akledya. Water cannot corrode it. Akledya means that which cannot be wetted. Not a drop of water will fall in it. Not a drop of water can do anything to it. No harm can be done. It cannot even be wetted, not to speak of corroding. It cannot go and wet it even. So, akledyaha. So, water will have no effect. Ashoshyaha. You cannot make it dry. It cannot be dried up. Shushka. See, they are all words which mean to dry up. So, ashoshya. Ashosha means that which cannot be dried up by air. If I put a wet cloth out, the air will dry it. But the Atman cannot be dried. That is, air cannot corrode it. Air cannot cause any deterioration. Then what? Then what it is? Again he is repeating. He is repeating the qualities of the Atman. Because in our meditation, I say that there are various methods. One is of course the self-inquiry. But in the traditional method as of the Upanishad, one of the main methods of meditation which is given is go on thinking of the Atman. Think of all its qualities. Run around its periphery, run around its circumference. Because you can never think of a point. So make it a big circle and go on thinking of it. So Atman is like this, Atman is like this, Atman is eternal, Atman, you cannot burn it, you cannot cut it to pieces. So go on thinking of it. Nityaha, it is always eternal, it remains forever. Sarvagataha, it is everywhere. Nityagataha, Sarvagataha, because this happens to be the material cause of all the objects in the world. When all the objects of the world have been created, there is nothing earlier, there is no sand, there is nothing from which we can prepare it. There is no air, there is no air, there is no water. So it is the Lord who created all of these things, and then through this, the entire bodies were all created. So, Sarvagataha, Atman is everywhere, in all the bodies, not only in the bodies, in other places also. In the body, he is in a manifested state. But in other places, the Atman is here, the Atman is here, the Atman is here, the Atman is here. So in all the empty spaces, in every particle, the Atman is there, because he is the consciousness. But why are we not seeing? It is just like electricity is not only in the inside. So it is there, it is there, it is there, it is there. In all those places, wherever you see wire, it is there. So in any place, if you make a point, you can make it manifest. So here there is a point, so it manifests itself. Here is an unmanifested state. It is not apparent to us. We cannot perceive it. So in the same manner, the Atman is everywhere. You and I have got it. But apart from that, every particle of all these spaces, they are occupied by the Atman, by the Supreme Consciousness. Sarvagata. Then Thanuhu. Thanuhu means that which is stable. You cannot shake it, it remains Thanu. Thanu normally means a pillar. That is why Lord Shiva has got a name Thanu, because he became a pillar of fire in Arunachala. So he is called as Thanu, he was just like a pillar. So Thanu means firm or stable. Then Achalaha. Achala means doesn't move. The mountain is called Achala because it cannot move. It is called Arunachala because it is a red hill. So Achala means Chala, to go. So Achala means that which cannot move. So it is motionless because it will so happen It may not move from here to here, but in its own axis it could be vibrating, it could be going on. Even that is not there is no motion at all, it remains. So the Atman, it is remaining without any motion, any movement, it is motionless. Then Sanatanaha means Anadi. That is, it has always been there. It is primeval, it is ancient, it has always been there. There is no growth. It has been since the beginning in the same state. It has been maintaining its status quo. Sanatana. So, we will read the next one. Avinachitu tadvidhi yena sarvamidam tatam vinachamasya yasyasya nakasyasya marghati. See, the entire idea of Lord Krishna talking about Atman, I told you the first portion is all about that Atman supreme being only. So all these slokas are all concerned about the Atman. And he is again and again trying to impress in our minds, look here, never entertain the fear that I am going to die. Nobody is going to die, there is going to be a continuance. But then we are afraid, I may continue, but I will not be Shantananda. I will not even recollect that I was the Swamiji called Shantananda in my previous birth. Nobody wants to lose his identity. See, while in meditation, before you go to the lyrical samadhi, undifferentiated state of super consciousness, almost a body stage comes. You feel you are going to jump into a chasm of vacuum where nothing remains. There will be no nama rupa, there will be no form, we are going to lose our name, we are going to lose our form. At that stage, people are afraid. They don't want to go to that stage. They immediately try to get up from the meditation. They are all afraid. Abhaye bhayadanchina, Mandukya Karika, on the Gaudapada Karika on Mandukya Upanishad, he says, you are going to a state where there is 100% security, because you are the Atman, you are everywhere, you are all. So in that case, who can fight against you, who can kill you, who can cause harm, who can cause any injury? You are absolutely in invulnerable state, so there will be no insecurity at all. But we are afraid of our security, we are afraid, oh, Shantananda may not remain, then what will I do then? No, I won't go. So many people withdraw at this stage. Even Vivekananda, when he was touched, when he went for the first time wrong with the Brahmansa, and asked him, can I see God? He said yes, and then he touched him. He suddenly was going almost into the undifferentiated state. He was a very mature soul, which just required that small touch. So it doesn't mean that everybody can do it. Somebody came to Bhagavan and asked Bhagavan, when he was there, Bhagavan, Ramakrishna touched Vivekananda and he got the highest state. Can you do that to me? Bhagavan became quiet for a moment. Then he asked him, are you of the status of Vivekananda? He asked him, the second question. Unless, you see, he can be Ramakrishna, but the other man also has to be at the level of Vivekananda. Otherwise, how can you expect it? That is there. So, Avinashitu tadvidhi yena sarvamidam tatam. Tadvidhi, you know that Atman is avinashi, indestructible. It can never die. It is always perennial. Avinashi, vinasha means destruction, disappearance into the chasm. So avinashi. Yena sarva vidam tatam. Why it is avinashi? How can a destruction take place? A destruction can take place by my own hand. That is, I may commit suicide. Or somebody else could kill me. Or it is likely that clay was made into a pot. The pot is called effect of this pot. So when the pot breaks, automatically this clay also, it becomes useless. So that is the way of dying. When the karya dies, when the effect dies, the cause dies. So these are all the various methods. Here none of these things are possible because he is everywhere. There is nobody but him. There is no second person to cause any harm. So there is no other effect. He is changeless. So he cannot be converted into a pot. He remains status quo in his own place. So as such, because tatam means vyaptam, tatam means pervaded. Sarvam idam tatam, all this idam sarvam, all this. By whom? Yes. By whom? All this, the entire world is completely pervaded. And that Atman, obviously, because he alone is in all the forms, there is nobody who is a stranger to him. There is nothing which is second to him.